You pulled the trigger of this gun and it didn't fire.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. Do you feel like that was God? There was a part in the documentary where you talked about taking your own life and that you tried to actually do it. Was that real?
Oh, 100%. You know, I think after I got cut, you know, I went straight to just like traveling around. You know, I had all this money. I had, you know, freedom for the first time to kind of be able to do whatever I want. And I ended up in LA. And I ended up at a house in Hollywood Hills, bouncing around, and started to live that LA lifestyle that, like, you guys know what the fuck that can turn into. Like, you've all seen it. You've seen people go from, you know, looking one way and then look a year later and you're like, damn, you're a completely different person. You know, I think, you know, for me, and man, I still to this day have, you know, extreme up and down of like mental struggles and mental battles. Like, this isn't something that, like, you know, I spoke about it obviously in the doc, but something that I still think comes and goes at points in time in my life. Like, you know, there's a way to look at my story or a way to, you know, feel like I do in my shoes at times where I'm like, man, I was so gifted at something and never gave it a chance to really get off the ground. You know, I sit here every day and I'm recognized as that person, but I'm so far away from that life and from, you know, being that person, I feel like at times. So, you know, there's still times where I'm super depressed, still super down. Times I won't leave my room for a month at a time. And then I'll crawl my way out of it for a little bit. And then something will happen in my life where, you know, I go back into that. So I've very much been at a point probably over the last 4 or 5 months where I'm like having to really be on myself to get out of that hole, and probably been in like, you know, a similar hole recently as I was at that point in time in my life. And I think it's just, you know, it's a hard thing to work through your own personal shame and your own personal trauma and a lot of things that you've impacted on yourself. Like I sit back and can say, you know, what if it was this situation or these people I had around me, but I'm at a point now where I put a lot of the blame on myself. You know, I am the one that caused a lot of my problems, a lot of the things that went on in my life. So it's just like, you know, learning to live with that and to continue on into whatever is next in life for me. And I think that's something for me that kind of gets me stuck at some points in time where I'm like, what is that next thing that's going to give me a spark in any similar way that football did? And for me, I haven't found that.
You said on the show, you pulled the trigger of this gun and it didn't fire.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy. Do you feel like that was God?
Yeah, I feel like obviously, you know, that's something whenever you're in that situation, like as blurry as the time is like it is, like you expect that to be the end of it. You don't expect to fucking have something like that go off, a misfire or act of fate or God or whatever it is. Like you truly expect that when you pull that trigger that like that will be the end of it. So yeah, it's something that's out of, you know, my control, out of, you know, anybody's control. And it really is probably more so than anything as I look back now, like an act of God, you know, I have more of a purpose to be here and be in this earth.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more zany clips, click the video right here.